Glory be to God. Brother Foley is not pressing piano. Let's press piano now. Let's play. Brother Tuna, am I permitted to do small piano song? Thank you, sir. Lord, we thank you. Just say something to God. Say something to God. Just thank Him. We're here in His presence as His sons to learn from one of His own. Just talk to God. Just talk to God. Just talk to Him. Just talk to Him. Lord, I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn. I'm here to get better with my finances. A lot of us, we struggle with our finances. It's in spite of our ages. Even with our young men that are here today, there's a lot of issues with finances. Sometimes you see financial issues between daddy and mommy. There's a lot of sometimes struggles at home, and you just wonder, why is mommy and daddy quarreling? Sometimes it can be as a result of financial issues. And as believers and Christians, it's as much as it's not something we talk every Sunday from the pulpit, but you can hear us pastors talking about, give your tithes, give your offerings, do special giving to God. But when people are financially empowered, when men especially are living out the life that God has called us to live, it makes a whole lot of difference. You see, one man says, I'm going to carry the burden of the church. You see a man say, Mommy, don't worry, I'm going to take care of all of these things. So just talk to God. Wherever you are in your interactions about money, about wealth, just talk to God. Lord, we thank you. Just talk to Him wherever you are right now. You might be in debt right now. Your credit card might just be all over the place. Maybe you've not even started earning income yet. Or you are earning income, it's not enough to cover those expenses. When men don't have money, it can be stressful. Men begin to have different thoughts, different expectations. You see, that's when men get into different activities. I just want us in this opening prayer just to submit wherever we are in our finances to God. Lord, I give you my finances this hour. It's not in a good place. Even some of us, we might have it, but we know it's not enough because of the need in our world, the need in our families. Some of us, we earn quite good sums of amount of money, but by the time the month is over, what we have left is not even enough. Many of us don't have good savings. You look at you earn 6 figures, but you can't boast that at the end of the month you have about $1,000 in your account. It can be stressful. Many of us are living life. We don't have investments. We don't have properties. We don't have investment in stocks. We don't have investment in businesses and other forms of investment. It can bring stress to us. Just talk to God about it. Talk to God about money. Talk to God about money. Talk to God about money. You ready, sir? Let's just, as we talk to God, I just want us to just open up our heart in worship. Because we want the Holy Spirit to take preeminence with this discussion. We know God has blessed our speaker with the skills. He has blessed him with financial skills, but we also want the wisdom of God, to flow through him to us. I'm sure for many of you in church, our memory verse for the week from last Sunday is in Ecclesiastes chapter 7 that says wisdom is a defense. Money is a defense, but the excellency of wisdom is that wisdom gives life to those who have them. So money is good. Money is good. Oh Lord, we thank you. In the beauty of your holiness, Lord, I test for you. Lord, I test for you. I long to be in your presence. My soul will wait on you. Oh Father, draw me nearer. Hallelujah. Draw me nearer to the beauty of your holiness. I will wait on you, oh God, Almighty God. in the beauty of your holiness. I will worship you, Almighty God, in the beauty of your holiness. We will wait, I will wait on you, Almighty God, in the beauty of your holiness. I will worship you, oh God, Almighty God, in the beauty of your holiness. Amen. Let's put our hands together for Jesus. Let's put our hands together for Jesus. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All right, let's have a seat quickly. I know I'm to bring up the speaker, but one there's just that thing inside of you as a facilitator. As a facilitator, you don't want people to just sit down and just bring up the speaker. You want to get them to meet each other. Amen. You want to get guys to meet each other. Is that better now? Okay. So at this point, before I bring up our speaker, I want us to get to meet each other. You just tell us your first name, what you do, and what you think about money. When you think about money, what comes to your mind? What comes to your mind? Are you fearful? Like me, we don't grow money on trees. Those are words we heard growing up. Do you think we pluck money from tree? So I'm going to start from me so that we just go around the table, okay? All right, my name is Joel, and what do I do? Many hats. I work in IT. I work as a pastor, and also I work as a therapist, a mental health and relationship coach. That's what I do. And my interaction with money, like I said earlier on, oh my goodness, growing up from a very humble background and where it's difficult for you to see money, it's one of the things. I became angry, growing up was, why did my father not buy those land in Lekki? I was angry. No, not even buying Ikorodu. We're in Morocco, we grew up in Morocco. For many of you that knows Morocco. Morocco is now is a new Lekki. Is a new we didn't. So I was angry. Why did my parents not buy land in these places that we lived? Because those places you can't even buy. There are several hundred millions of Nigerian currency naira. So growing up, money for us was you can eat 1 square meal a day is good. We call it 001. We skip breakfast, lunch. We take we call it Casa Flakes, Gary and Granite. I'm sure these guys don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know that? You know peanut? Yes, you call it peanut, we call it granite. That was what our lunch is. Dinner that we actually eat real food. So money wasn't available. So growing up in that kind of environment, you can't talk about financial management. Money was about survive. Let's survive. Let's just get by each day until we grew up. So many of us started learning about money when we grew up. So sometimes it took me a lot of time to understand how you can manage it, because there's one level to manage it, another level is to grow it and all of that. So it was difficult for me to grasp money until I was more than your age, graduated from school. So I think this is a very good opportunity for you guys to hear this. I did not learn about money until I got out of school. Because it was always a survival mode. You have it. We don't even think about savings. You have it, you eat it. Many of us were just about get the money, spend it. Get the money, spend it. But growing up, we started learning that you can't just spend this money. You need to save some. You need to invest some. You need to build businesses with it. But it was tough and challenging for us. But I still want to learn every day, every time. Understand the market. Some people, we don't know how the stock market works. We don't know how businesses work. And these are all of the things God has given us the opportunity to grow. But because for us as churches, as Christians, we think that when people invest time in those things, they are doing worldly things. We grew up being told that money is the root of evil, not knowing that it was the love of money. I don't know how they removed that one from our own scripture then. It was removed from our scripture. So that is about me, and I'm here to learn more. So can somebody just clap for me, please? Just appreciate me. All right, great. So I'm going to go around this way. You just tell us your first name, what you do, and your experience about money. I know you're making a lot of money, Jeremiah.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeremiah, and I'm a student. And my experience about money, sometimes money could be very scarce, very hard to earn. And I understand that money can't be spent easily. You have to save some and use it for important events, things that you know that you need it for, not to waste. That's all about me.
Good afternoon. My name is Daniel, and my experience with money is like with money, like I need to be able to like control it and not let it like control over you. Like for example, if like you're not earning a lot and like somebody comes and then they're like giving you like a job that you know like isn't illegal, like on drug selling or something like that, but I mean not like earning anything, it's best to like just ask God for help, then I'll try to earn it.
Good afternoon. My name is Isaiah, and one experience I had about money is like, don't use all of it. Don't spend all in one place. You have to save some money. Like, you can't spend all your money in one place. You need to save it and use it for other times.
Good afternoon. My name is Elvis. I'm a student, and one experience I have with money is like, money is easier to spend than it is to earn, and like when you have money, it's like you should use it wisely because you know you'll need it. Like, save some money, spend some, and yeah.
Thank you. All right, my name is Adeni Jonosoya, and my experience about money. Money is okay. So I'm a resident pastor, Fragrance of Grace. I'm a solar consultant and a photographer. All right, so money is a good thing. It's very good when you have it. So, but it's like everybody have rightly said, it takes a lot of planning. So sometimes, especially talking from experience, sometimes business is very good, and it's not going to be like that all the time. So what you do about what comes in is very important. What I believe you should have different percentage for different purpose, for savings, for investment, for emergency, and all that. So, but I'm still a student. I still have a lot to learn about money. So because I've had a very bad experience, mismanagement, or making wrong decisions, so it's very important. So I'm here to learn. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Benga. I'm in IT. My experience with money, I've always been a big believer in investing whatever money you have in something that will continue to make money for you, not just depend on a source of income from one place. I have a 9-to-5, and I don't believe in doing 9-to-5 I can't even do it for the rest of my life. And I never really believed in doing 9 to 5. I've always been a big believer in doing business. And that's what I do. So any source of income that I have, any money I have, I always try to put it into something that's going to make money. I don't believe in putting money in the bank. It's a waste. It's not doing anything for me. It should be somewhere where it's generating funds for me as well. So that's my own philosophy on money.
Praise the Lord. My name is Finfolo Akeomi. Finfolo Akeomi. Yeah. I work with one of the departments of I work with one of the departments providing housing in DC. Yeah. My experience about money is God's given us time, and money is a measure of that time that God's given unto us. So, regardless of our faith, our belief, our race, the amount of time God's given to us, if you want to see it, quantify it, that's money.
Not you will tell us how you feel about money. You have a lot of time to tell us what you feel and think about money. I have two other brothers here, Brother Tunde and Dr. Ola. Where are thou? Yeah, I think Tunde is looking at those boys. There are three other boys there who, I don't understand the way they view money. They just eat my money right now. That's how view. They just use the money. Dr. Ola, okay, when they come in, they will meet us at some point, and when others come, I know some of our sisters wanted to join us. I said, you guys come. It's not just the guys. All right, thank you all for sharing that, because mindset is very critical when it comes to money management. It's big. There's a woman I'm listening to. I don't know if you listen to her, Shin Bet. Oh, you need to listen to that lady. I will send you one or two of her videos, then you can listen to her. She talks a lot about money, and she connects it spiritually. So mindset is a very big thing. An amazing thing. We are so glad about this subject is it's going to give our men and our church a lot of perspective. Because one thing God told us, as we enter the Ember month, from September to the end of the year, we're going to be talking about empowerment. And we started with financial empowerment already. The last 2 Sundays, we talked about, I did a financial health checkup. Because that's always the starting point. Know where you are. What's your debit cards, the credit card, how much are you owing, your loans and all of that. So we did a financial health checkup. Then last week Sunday, we talked about God's design for money and wealth. So because we want to speak it from God's perspective, then connect it with wealth principles and money principles around the world. So this is a very strong reinforcement of the series, because we are doing about 7 weeks, 8 weeks. And amazingly, I didn't want to take the class. You know, you and I would discuss. I was talking about, okay, maybe you do it, or I'll do Financial Peace University. But I love our leaders. They say, PJ, if we can't hear you about money, we won't hear any other person very well. That you are as good as Dave Ramsey, because we know you, we see how you live your life. So it was a challenge for me. I didn't want to touch the series. I wanted a seasoned professional to take it. They said, well, PJ, you have been doing training all your life. And for me, it's been a big learning curve that I have such an amazing resource that can go for 24 weeks of financial training and financial empowerment. And so when they told me they want to do this and they want the abundant life pastor, I said, yes, he's a financial coach and he's going to be the right person. Because some Sundays, I want to bring in some real professionals in insurance so they can give their own insightful perspective. And so we are glad here today to have with us, he's my brother, he's my friend, he's my ministry partner. He's also a coach. He pastors a church, one of the fastest growing church here in Maryland, Abundant Life Chapel. He's also in IT. You see all these men of God like Benga, them in IT. He's also in cyber security and also have a coaching business. He's going to share his website with us. Is it up now? Because we checked it 3 days ago. He's confirming it. Because I was checking it, Benga and I were looking. So we were checking it. So before he goes, he's going to give us a lot of his information. He has a lot of trainings on financial management. And so it's a honor and a privilege, as always. He was here with us for our 50th anniversary He ministered to us, and he's always going to be coming back to minister to us. And one of our pastors calls him the financial abundance pastor. So please help me make welcome Pastor Tychus as he takes us through this session. Thank you, bro.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hallelujah. Thank you. I hope it's okay if I sit, PJ. Oh, that's fine. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I feel like we have a very, very intimate group today. Hello. Welcome our First Lady, Pastor Simone. See, I did Pastor. I didn't do Reverend. It's okay. Later. Welcome, Pastor Simone. But first of all, many, many thanks to Reverend Joel for doing this. I think the men's ministry, Pastor Nijipi, everyone. Thank you guys. I think it's such a great initiative, right? There's a lot that we've heard about money. There are a lot of things that we need to learn about money. There are a lot of things we need to unlearn about money, right? Especially in the church. And so I'm so glad that we get to do this. So really today we're just going to talk. I had some slides, but we'll see. We'll see how much of it we get into. I want it to be very, very interactive, where we're just talking and sharing and going. Very, very quickly, Pastor Simone, do you want to introduce yourself? I know a lot of people know you, but we did that shortly before you walked in. Like, I know he doesn't know you. So just very, very quickly, your name, what you do, and what you think about money. That's fine. I'll come around. Sorry, I got you.
So, good afternoon, everyone. I am Simona Sebo. I am the wife of Pastor Joel. What do I think about money? Money. Oh, okay. I'm a nurse practitioner. What do I think about money? I like it. Which woman doesn't? I like it a lot. But I'm very careful in how I spend, so yeah.
Thank you so much. And I think it's great. All the young men we have here: Jeremiah, Daniel, Isaiah. I'm sorry, what was your name? Elvis. Because I couldn't see you when you said it. I didn't know my sensations with the faces. Elvis. To have you guys. So, Pastor Joel said, my name is Tychus. I'm the pastor of Abundant Life Chapel. I'm bivocational. I do cybersecurity in the IT space. I've been in that space now for over 2 decades. I'm undergrad in computer science, master's in engineering at 22, and pretty much I've been working since. And there's a reason why I'm saying that. I'll refer to that back later, but saying that to say it's so good we have this young man here to see how compounding works. For me, what do I think about money? I think money is a tool. I think money is a terrible leader, but a great servant. Like Pastor Simone, I like money because money answers all things. And in context with the Bible, money really, like I said, is a tool. It can, you use it to solve problems. Whereby, if the money wasn't available, it can create problems. And I want to start from there, because hearing Pastor Joel earlier, I think that's the experience of many people, especially if you grew up in Nigeria. A lot of us have a false understanding of money. We have a bad relationship with money because it's caused so many strains in family. And later on, you think money was the problem, but really it was now just exacerbating and expanding the problem, right? What do I mean by that? So I always see it in 2 extremes. There's the folk who think money is evil, right? Not the love of money. There's the folks who think The poorer you are, the more religious you are. The poorer you are, the more Christian you are. The poorer you are, the more you know God. And that is very, very false, right? So, meaning you can't estimate someone's Christianity by whether they are poor or rich. So you have those people, and those ones run away from money because they think it makes them less spiritual. However, when there's always a problem that money can solve, you're wondering what's the problem. And I know I've heard Reverend Joel say, that this church, this year, one of the things we're talking about is being in dominion. And I really, really believe money helps with that. I like to preach the complete Christian, right? If it's a demon, you cast it out. If it's a problem, you write a check. There are some things that sometimes you don't need a prayer meeting. You don't need what's the problem? Someone's rent needs to be paid. If it's available, let's do it. In Matthew 27, and we don't have to go there, but the Bible talks about Joseph of Arimathea. Many of us know him. But one of the things that was very, very telling to me, thank you, sir, is that the Bible clearly says, up arrow, okay, yes, great. Is that the Bible clearly says Joseph of Arimathea was rich, but here's the second part. It says, and he was a disciple of Jesus. And so what that tells me is that they are not mutually exclusive. The Bible does not condemn Joseph of Arimathea for being rich. And we know the story. When Jesus died, Joseph of Arimathea is the one that has the gravitas, the influence, the money to go to Pontius and say, I'm demanding the body of Jesus. So the Bible says he's rich, but he's also a disciple, right? So nothing wrong. So we have that extreme. And there's the other extreme, whereby money is everything. That is also bad, right? The Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. Meaning they would do anything for money. They would cheat for money. They would kill for money. They would just lie. Anything you can think of, right? Because money is their God. Matthew chapter 6, it says you cannot serve Mammon and God. Mammon is the Jewish name for money. So basically just replace that word. You cannot serve money and God. So there are some people that you can tell money is their God. Like everything they do revolves around money. They've lost relationships. They've lost so many things because of that love for money. That's also an extreme that we don't need, right? And so everything that we do, I was in Reverend Joel's office just now, and I saw a sign that says mindset is everything. And that's really where I want to start. My financial coaching, is typically about 4 classes, and this is maybe 1/10 of class 1 that we will go today. But we always start with the mindset, because until you can reframe that mindset about money, it just makes everything so much more difficult, right? So for everyone here, I'm hoping the class would empower you today. It would help you to make money. It would help you to keep your money, and it will help you to multiply your money. I put those 3 things there, right? To make money, to keep money, to grow your money, right? You always want to be in that place where your money is growing. So sorry, I didn't do this earlier. Let me do that. I really want to appreciate Mr. Gbenga for coming out. I had put it on our church men's group late, meaning I put it today. I totally forgot all week, and he still showed up. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you. And he takes pictures as well, so it should help. I heard Pastor Niji say that, so he'll be a great resource to talk to. Okay? All right, so Fragrance of Grace International class. Financial class. Hope you guys are excited. Yes. That's good.
The pastor that don't like too much money.
Please like it. Okay, we're not moving. No. The first, it moved the first one. No, up. Yeah. It's not moving. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, right. Yeah, so sorry. Yeah, right. Thank you. All right. So why are you here? So we're here to learn about money. But if you notice in the title, it says Kingdom Finance, right? And meaning we're going to do it with biblical wisdom and with very, very practical strategies. As you guys know, besides the fact that we're in a church, everything we do is going to originate from the Bible. It's going to be very biblically sound. And I think that's really the only reason why, with my financial certification, I went the Dave Ramsey route, so that way you automatically know he's a Christian. I will tell you this right now, I don't agree with 100% of everything he says, right? But there's enough where there's alignment. The principles are the same. And like I always tell people, I'm like, sometimes eat the meat, spit out the bones, right? You know, it's okay. Like, we don't have to agree on everything, but we all know what we want to do. So what do we want to do? We want to build wealth that honors God, right? For me, that's extremely important. Anything that does not honor God is different, right? Elon Musk is wealthy, but does it honor God, right? So it's the kind of wealth that would honor God in everything that we're saying, okay? So that's what we're going to be talking about today, to honor God. Let's look in Proverbs 27. Proverbs 27. Proverbs 27 and verse 3 is one of my favorite scriptures about wealth. Proverbs 27, verse 23. Whilst we're pulling that up, we'll start with the power of consistency. Let's do it old school. So if anyone gets it first, please read it out. Yes. Verse 23. Yes, sir. Okay.
Carefully attend to your flocks.
Okay.
Don't take them for granted.
Okay.
Possessions don't last forever.
Okay. All right. I like it. What translation is that? Message translation. That's really good. I'm going to start using that one. So I don't know if you guys caught it, right? In Proverbs 27, verse 3, Solomon, we know the Bible calls him the richest and the wisest man that lived, right? So we should pay attention when he's talking. Now, here is Solomon saying, know your sheep by name. Can you guys imagine it, right? Jeremiah, Daniel, you guys think about it for a minute. So here's someone who has, I don't know, 1 million sheep, and he's literally saying, know it by name, right? It says, attend to thy flock. Know the New King James says, know the state of your flock. And the second part, it says that possessions don't last for what? Forever. In other words, if you don't have a plan, it's not going to last forever. Because like we all said, when I think it was Elvis that said something very smart, which is that it's so much easier to spend money than to get it. To spend, I mean, you could go to the mall, Annapolis Mall, and blast $10,000 in 30 minutes, right? Maybe even in one store, right? But think about what it would take to make that. So here, Solomon is saying, know what it is that is your flock and how to attend to it. Okay, so let's talk about the power of consistency, and I think that's where money, everything goes in there, right? You have to be consistent. You have to do something over and over and over again. And what that means is when you sow a seed, you know it's going to grow, right? You know you put in something, you're investing where you say, you know what? This is going to happen. And then there's the time factor, right? I believe it was Minister Finn that mentioned that. There's the time factor where no matter what is going to happen, right? I tell people, God can bless you with a baby. It's going to take 9 months, right, Pastor Simone? Yeah. Exactly, right? So he's giving you the answer, but that's just what it takes, right? So you have to always, always, always be aware of time, right? So this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. There's a scripture for that. That's money that comes easily would fly away. That's literally what it is. And there's always someone willing to sell you something. Trust me, I can't even begin to tell you the amount of money I was scammed out of. It's ungodly. So let's not talk about it, because I just get upset even thinking about it. But then when I look back, you now think, you know what? Peter, you messed up. Like, what were you thinking? Like, if it sounds too good to be true, it's not true, right? But you think, oh yeah, if I do this, I'll get this. Trust me, if it was that great, they won't be selling it to you. They will be doing it to themselves, right? So you have to watch out for that. And then just growing a legacy for the parents here. That's something that we should always be thinking about, right? Okay. So I'm going to run through this quickly because I really want us to get into discussions, right? So Proverbs 27:23, I already jumped into that. That's what I talked about. I mentioned our mindset earlier, right? So your mindset and your actions is what eventually brings about money, right? What's the mindset? What do you need to do? Like I said earlier, money is a tool. It's a store of value, right? Everything you see, everything your eyes can see, there's money attached to it. Everything, right? If I ask you how much is this mic, you guys don't know. I'm sure Reverend Joel knows, right? How much is this new clicker? There's a price to it. The phone, the tablecloth, the table, the water, everything, right? So money is a store of value. And then you now have to think, okay, what do I have to exchange for this value, right? So, and that's where the actions come about. So your mindset and the actions brings about multiplication, right? The diligence. I'm so glad with the young men here, honestly, because I'm teaching my kids this. You know, they said, "Oh, Daddy, we want summer job." I'm like, "No problem." They'll do work. "Oh, Daddy, I slept late." I'm like, "Well, in the real life, you don't get paid for sleeping." So let's talk about, because one was asking, "No, Daddy, I thought you said you pay me this and that." I'm like, "Yeah, look at the time you came in." So you have to learn all of these things, right? So we spoke about this. Be diligent to know. Proverbs 27:23. It's your job to know. It's your job to know the state of your flock. It's your job to know what's in checking, what's in savings, what's in investment. Nobody is saying you should be that person that you are watching every minute, but it's your job to know the state of your flock, right? And I kind of broke it down there. Reverend Joel has this. He can share later. You know, it says know everything that you're doing. It says riches are not forever, and that speaks to your legacy, right? What's going to happen after you? What's going to happen that you do? Okay. So very quickly, what's your money personality? If we had more couples here, I don't know. I think sometimes it's the humor of God, where most times, every now and then, you find two of the same. But most times, I see a spender is married to a saver, right? Pastor Simon is pointing there. You know, I'm like, I heard one pastor say, I don't know how God does it. He says that the lips are always married to the ears. One person wants to talk, and the other one is just like, help me. You know, and same with spending and saving. And sometimes, you know, you have a personality, and then you kind of grow into it. There's the avoider. There are some people that they're like, I don't like to talk about money. I don't like to think about it. But I'm like, it's a part of life. No matter how much you avoid it, it's going to come around, right? And there's the investor, there's the giver, and there's really not just one. Many times it's always a merging of all of that. So again, so our goal today really, really is clarity. Clarity. That's the one thing I'm hoping you leave this class with, a level of clarity to say, here's what I want to do. Here's what I should be doing, right? Here's what I can do more of. Or maybe here's what I can do less of, right? And so any of those things you can come around with, I would really appreciate. There's a line, a subtext there that is very, very important. Please, that's the takeaway from this class. How much you keep is more important than how much you make. Okay? How much you keep is more important than how much you make. I coach clients that I know, husband and wife combined, sometimes it's almost $500,000, and they are still in financial trouble. You can make a lot of money and you can lose a lot of money, right? We all know the Mike Tysons of this world. $400 million in your career, you're bankrupt in 3 years. You know, basketball players, the average NFL football player, for the young guys who love sports, right? 5 years, when they retire, they go bankrupt, right? And they've made gazillion dollars, right? So how much you keep is way more important than how much you make. Anybody after a while can make money, can get a job tomorrow, 6-figure job, blah, 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 blah. If you're not doing the right thing with it, it's going to go, okay? So income alone doesn't build wealth. I think Brother Gbenga said that. The 9 to 5 is great, but what else are you doing, right, to do that? Many, many people think the key to wealth is earning more. It's not. Trust me, I've been there. I said earlier, I started working at 22. I'll never forget Grant Thornton, Baltimore. My first salary was $45,000. I thought, oh my God, like, there's never been a better time in life. Like, what? What am I doing with $45,000? And then a year in, you're like, oh man, if I can just get 50, and then if I can just get 60, and then, you know what, it'll be great to earn 6 figures. And then if this, but you notice with each increase, there's still always need. And here's the reason why. It's called lifestyle creep. And what that means is America is great at it. You know, once you get that new promotion, once you get that new raise, you feel like, oh yeah, I can do a little more, right? You know, I just got a Christmas bonus. Let me, get this new iPhone, whatever number that is out. Let me get the next thing. Let me go get a car. America is bad because it tells you as long as you can make the payments, go for it. The worst financial advice ever, right? So lifestyle creep, you have to be careful about that. Wisdom and stewardship. How are you maintaining your money? All right, so maybe I should just be using my slides. Cautionary tales, right? Antoine Walker, 108 million. 108 million. Reverend Joel, how do you file bankruptcy after $108 million? 2 years. Yeah, they are winning on this one, seriously. Okay, so even millions disappear, 108, and just 2 years after retirement. Yes. So Proverbs 21 verse 20 says, the wise have wealth and luxury, but fools spend whatever they get. Help me tell your neighbor, don't be foolish. Now Bible talk about, it's not me, Reverend Joel. I'm not abusing anybody. Bible says that fools spend whatever they get. So what does that mean? If you get 10 and you are spending 10, what does the Bible call you? Okay? You got to keep something. You got to keep something for the next day. Okay? So the goal is not to spend everything that comes in. Mike Tyson, I mentioned, his is even worse. $400 million. Right? Same thing. Filed for bankruptcy. I mean, $400 million, like, I don't even know what's to do with that, okay? But yeah, I mean, we heard all the stories. Buy a Mercedes-Benz 300,000, 20 minutes later, crash it on the Beltway, leave the car there, go right back to the dealership, pick another one. So in one day, 600K just because you can, right? But someday, it's going to finish, okay? So let's talk about money. I said it earlier, money is a tool for exchange. When you go to the store, no matter how anointed, you're not going to pray and say, give me that shirt, give me this. No, you have to pay for it. Money is a tool for exchange. It's a store of value. I said that earlier. It's a reflection of your decisions. I can tell your decisions if I look at your bank account. I can tell where you've been if I look at your bank account. I can tell where you've gone if I look at your bank account, right? Your spending pattern shows everything about you. What money is not? Money is not a measure of your worth, okay? I beg you in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, right? Money is not a measure of your worth. Rich people are not more saved. God doesn't love rich people more. Money doesn't determine who you are, okay? Because some people, out of arrogance, once they have a little money, they think they're better than others. No, money is not a measure of your worth. I'm begging you, remain humble before God, and wherever you are, like Paul said, I know how to abound, I know how to abase. Reverend Joe was talking about Casa Flakes later. I'm like, after a while, I actually liked Gary and Granite. Put some ice and some milk, and, but, but after a while, you get to a stage and you say, you know what, it's okay. It's okay. Matthew chapter 6, God says he will take care of us. Look at the birds of the field. So it's not a measure of your worth, okay, or the source of peace. I know folks with money in the bank account and no peace whatsoever. All right? Love of money, the root of all evil. We said that. So let's go jump right into some specifics. Understanding income. There's active income, there's passive income. The rich people, the wealthy people, they get to a place where passive income exceeds or at least matches their active income. Right? It's what I'm hoping to do and build now with coaching. Like it's getting to the place where with the clientele, I'm like, oh wow, this can actually at some point replace my regular job, and it's something I love to do, because the joy of when you get that call from a client. I got one just last week and she said, PT, I'm debt free. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. Like, it's a journey, and it's just with discipline. It's just with, I'm like, all these things you're paying, you're not using. You know, if you ever have to say, I don't know where my money is going, something is wrong. Most likely, I promise you, you do not have a budget. Because if you have a budget, you will know where your money is going. You will know where you're, and we'll talk about that a little later. Okay? So active income is income earned by working the job, right? Your 9 to 5, you know, or you do some freelance or business, you get paid. Passive income is earned without daily efforts, dividends, rental income, royalties, and I'll go back a little into that later. Okay, I'm not going to give too many examples there. Why you need a budget, right? I want to start from there. I said a budget is not a cage. A lot of people, they feel restricted with budgets. I will tell you, I'm not one for like my best friend. Let me use him first. He's great with what he does. He has a phenomenal Excel spreadsheet. I know because he shared it with me. And like David, I had to say, I've not tried this, it can't work for me. He has a fantastic spreadsheet, everything, you know, the rent, the this. When they spend, it automatically deducts him and the wife. They work it very well. My budget is on my phone, is WhatsApp. I text my wife, it's 10 items. Number 1, mortgage. Number 2, this, and that's it. But at least we know what is being spent. We have discretionary income. We have investment, savings. You kind of know where to go. You might be like, oh, Peter, I don't have enough to have a budget. You do. Trust me. Just write it down a little bit. That's Habakkuk chapter 2. Write the vision down. So a budget is not a cage. It's a compass. It directs your money. Proverbs 21 verse 5, it says that the plans of the diligent lead to profit. How many of us want to profit? The plans of the diligent, you have to make those plans. It leads to profit, okay? Budget benefits, again, clarity, control. You know where your money is going. It shows you exactly how much you spend, how much you save, how much you waste. Try it out. I promise you, do it for like 2 months. 2 months. Can I say something that I heard a while ago changed my life about money? He said, what would you do if you got all your foolish money back? Only the adults might know what foolish money is. Sometimes just sit down and be like, I spent money on that thing. Like, and what was I thinking? And on that one, and on that one, and go back 2-3 years and imagine what you could do if you could get that back, right? So your budget gives you clarity, gives you control. It helps you out to determine what it is that you want to do, okay? There's some debt payoff strategies. I'm not rushing. Okay, all right. Please, if you have questions, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to stop me, okay? Just, yeah. You guys are following? Are tracking? Great. I like it. I like it. Honestly, what I feel like I want to get a call from all of you guys 20 years from now when you've become millionaires, like we heard you, honestly. All right. So let's talk about some debt payoff strategies. And I'm talking about debt because it's a great hindrance to building wealth. And America is great at encouraging you to get into debt, right? I wish the way they teach certain things, they should have like a life application class in high school where they teach these things, right? Because consumer debt is at its highest in America. What's that? That's your credit card. Now, the credit card they're giving you with an 18% interest rate. So when you go buy that iPhone for $1,000 at 18%, and yeah, that's fine. It's just, you just add $20 to your monthly payment. You just add $50. That's what they sell you on. But by the time you're finished, your 1,000 has become 3,000. But you don't know. They've just trapped you forever, and you've become a servant. That's really what it is. What does the Bible say about debt? It says the borrower is slave to the lender. There's no, so you're a slave. Okay? So you have to be very, very careful. This was some of the Dave Ramsey things. He is absolutely against credit cards. I don't mind it because I always pay on time and I don't pay interest rate. So you have to manage it. And I've heard him teach to say, I know some people think this, but for him, it's a discipline thing. It's like, don't even give yourself the option. I totally understand it, right? So there's balance. But again, how do we stay away from debt? So you can pay off. There are two major ways to pay off debts. Maybe you have some. There's your snowball, there's your avalanche. And snowball just means you list all your debts, right? They typically might not count mortgage, but you list everything: credit card, car notes, whatever. The lowest one, you pay that one as quickly as possible. You try and pay that off first. When you finish paying that off, you move the money from that one to the next one, to the next one. So it's kind of like a snowball effect, right? Meaning it's like, imagine when you roll a stone down, snow. As it's going, it's picking up more stuff, it goes faster, right? And then there's the avalanche. The avalanche one says pay the highest interest rate, but I prefer snowball. It's typically more realistic. It's typically more practical. And there's something about that small win, right? There's something about when you have, I owe these people $900 and you wipe that one out. You're like, yes, that's one less bill to worry about. So, but again, different ones for different people. So here, avoid or eliminate debt quickly. Avoid it if you can. Avoid it. Yes, I know there's student loan, there's, whatever it is. So sometimes it's okay, you get it, but let it be in your mindset that how are we going to pay this thing? How are we going to get past this place? Okay. Understanding the real cost of borrowing. I believe I kind of mentioned that with the phone earlier, but there's a car example here. A $30,000 car, right? 5-year loan at 6%, which many times I pick the lowest one just for example purposes. You typically will get higher because car interest rates, because it's 5 years, they go higher, right? 6% is what you will get on a 30-year mortgage if you are lucky. So no one is giving you 6% typically for a car. But let's just say you get that. Monthly payment of $580 and you think, oh yeah, I'm good. I make X amount every 2 weeks. Every month I make this. I can pay $580. So that new shiny car, you're like, let's go for it. Total paid in 5 years, $35,000. Again, not too bad because it's $30,000. Now, imagine that is a higher car, 50, 60, 70,000, a higher interest rate. It just goes worse and worse after that, right? I picked something that won't be too bad. 4 days that derail finances, you have debt. Yes. Sure. Yes. Which one? The depreciation. I was hoping anyone would catch it. But again, so a car, they will tell you, absolutely. A car is a depreciating asset, right? So the moment you drive away from the parking lot, especially if it's brand new, if you buy a car, 50,000, once you drive out and you say, you know what, I changed my mind, you take it back, they'll offer you 40,000 for it or 35,000 for it. If you have the money, the people who they are millionaires, billionaires, they don't care. They're like, I'm going to use the car for forever and ever. Like people are like, oh, Pete, you're saying that you drive a Porsche. I've had it for 13 years and I'm in no rush to change it. It has served me very well. So I'm not just about, oh, let me go get the next thing. No, I've used it. In fact, I almost feel like I should pay them back some money now, after a while. So I'm not preaching against things. If you can afford it, great. But what I'm saying is don't get into debt just to live with the Joneses, just to be with all those people, right? So again, with depreciation, look at all it's drained in interest. And I'll use some more examples, okay? This one I won't talk too much about, but basically things that would derail. The first one, debt, D-E-B-T, forgive my accent, not to be confused with death, is the one that I really, really wanted to harp on. Obviously, death, divorce, disability, those don't apply to a lot of you guys. I coach some people who are not particularly Christians. Understanding your FICO score, I wanted to talk on this real quick, and I'll pause for a little bit. Right, your FICO score, as we know, is how they determine your credit worthiness, they call it, right? And for some of my other clients, when you're coaching, you now start teaching wealth building strategies. Like all my kids now, well, not all, the two girls, because they are teenagers, are on my credit card, my credit card and my wife's credit card. They are not spending anything. They are not doing anything. The only advantage is when they turn 18, they would have 5 years of credit history, right? Because we got it for them at 13. So at 18, they are inheriting a 700 plus score. They are inheriting, oh, you've been doing this for 5 years. It helps, right? And so, but it's at zero cost to them or to me. So great. So those are a few things that, tricks in the book that we teach. But how do they determine your credit? Your payment history, right? So those late payments get you the amount owed, length of credit history. That's why I mentioned that credit makes different things new credit. Are you someone that you just go applying for a credit card all over the place, right? Okay, so here's where we're going to really, really, really stay. Let me pause real quick if you have any questions. Yes, go ahead, Mr. T. Go ahead. You want the mic? Or you can project it?
Thank you. Thank you so much. No, I'm just saying. I'm just
9 to 5.
Oh, 9 to 5. 9 to 5. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, so this is loud.
I'll respond and give. Yeah. Phenomenal question. And so I'll use you as an example, and then I'll stretch it out, right? So you're in a sales job, right? You sell solar, and you take pictures, right? So like I said, please make sure you talk to Mr. Benga after. He does phenomenal. And he's a businessman. He does like a million things, but IT and pictures are the. So two things that I'll say, right, is you'd look back, right, 6 months, 12 months, busy season, right, slow season. Some people are buying solar. They're saying it's a saturated market. Obviously, this new administration is not particularly fond of solar, right? But let's say you say in a bad month, right, or bad series of months, maybe I sell, and this is the same thing I tell realtors and car salesmen, any sales job, right? What does a quarter look like, right? 3 months. If I sell one solar in 3 months, how much do I make? So you have to kind of do a worst case, average, best case, right? If I sell 5, I'm balling. We're happy, life is good, right? But starts from ground zero. Let's say I sell 1. Now, let's say I sell 1. God forbid there's the possibility you don't sell 1 in a quarter. But let's say I sell 1. If I sell 1, that means, I don't know, 5K, 6K, I don't know what the commission is like. But you go off of that. Same thing with the pictures, right? I'm guessing you do events, you do parties, you do this. So with that one, you have to kind of model the income a little bit. Because two things that does for you, it helps you plan, but it also helps you, it gives you a target, right? Because what that means for you now is, look, I must go out there and I must sell at least 1 solar, at least 2 solar. You know what your range is. You call Reverend Joe. Reverend Joe, those are your special prayers. I need it right now. The target is 2 homes over the next 3 months, right? 2 party events. You use your network. You are going so that everything you do until you hit that target, right? It's not good. And then you already kind of know if it's getting towards the end and you're like, man, we didn't make targets then. some things might be shifty. That might mean we might have to lean on savings. It might mean some other things. You're still looking for other areas. We'll talk about streams of income later. But at least it gives you a picture because, like you said, it's not fixed every 2 weeks. I get this, I get this, I get this. So you have to look for a way to simulate that model. So I always tell people, do worst case, do average, do best case. Some people, like my wife, bless her heart, and she's here, she will tell you that's her. She will start from best case. It's like, I don't want to think about that one. What's the best case? I'm a realist, I'm a pragmatist. So, and don't get me wrong, because hearing that from a pastor, you're like, where's the faith in this? Faith without works is dead, right? So for me, I'm like, you know what? Let's say it's a bad quarter. This is what I want to do. That will start. And then from that foundation, you can now build upon it, right? So I hope that helps. Fantastic. Thank you. Please. Absolutely.
Like in terms of budget. Hello. Okay. So it's how you budget is basically just you want to every expense you have to make, right from your gas, your mortgage payment, clothes, school fees, and all of that. And it's always going to be just like what you said. What is it do I need to spend? How much do I even spend? So it's having an understanding of how much you spend. You need to know the breakdown of what you truly spend. Then being an entrepreneur, you're not even paying yourself. You're not determining how much you come. So you can work with best case scenario and worst case scenarios, breaking them into percentages. Because over time, that's one of the things I discovered helped me when I was running the business and income was coming in. We need to pay office. We need to pay quite a lot of things. So what I deliberately did, worst case and best. Okay, best case, average, and is 10%. I know will go to my Titan because you want to break 100% at the end of the day. So in spite of whether you earn quarterly, you earn weekly, you need to have those numbers and just edge in your heart. Because if we don't, you can misuse the money. You can even take every money you have and go settle one area of expense, and every other area will be suffering. So my philosophy or my thought is learn to spread your budget across everything you spend. So best case, my 10% will always be there. Like what we do at home, my 40%, because of the weight that goes into the home, I know 40% goes there. I know another 10% go to my running costs. I know another 10% go into savings. I know 10% goes into credit card payment. So we can have that structure in your mind so that anytime your income comes in, whether it's through 9 to 5 or through just doing side gigs, you just know that this money already has a name. So what I'm saying in the budgeting as an entrepreneur, or you just get money through side gigs, make sure you break them into percentages, give them a name. It just makes it easier. So when this money is coming into me, I know that I can't spend my 5% for my credit card. That's what I do currently. I know that this 10%, it must go to my tithe. I know this 40% must go to my home. I know this 10% must go. It doesn't matter the figure of money that comes in. If it's $10,000 that come, now I can evaluate again. Okay, I'm earning more. So instead of my 40% that goes into that bulk money, I can drop it to 35%. So what I'm saying is there has to be flexibility, but have a structured percentage that goes into all of the expense that you, so that when the money comes, you're not confused. If it increases, you can decide to reevaluate them, but you're working with numbers in percentages. That's just something I want to add there. Yeah, thank you.
I'm horrible at budgeting, but I watch my spending very, very closely. And there are some things that I know, how will I put this? Jeff and I are very good friends. Jeff Bezos, Amazon. And if I land on Amazon, there was a time when if I land on Amazon, oh man, if I see one thing I want to buy, I'll find five other things I want to add to it as well. You get. But and yes, it used to be quite bad because I'm a tech person. I like tech stuff. So once I see it, I'm like, oh, I'd like to try this out and see. But what I've noticed about myself in the last few months is that I've actually hardly bought anything on Amazon in the last few months, and I have an Amazon credit card. It has a $10,000 limit. They encourage you to spend it. They'll tell you, oh, you have 3 months to pay it off interest-free. So as a business person, what I do is I use other people's money to make money for myself, then pay them back. I can do that with Amazon. Okay, so if I have camera equipment I need now, I can buy it. They'll say, well, you can pay it off in 3 months. Okay, I bought this equipment, I now make that money in a month. So I've paid them back their money, So I use my Amazon credit card as a loan, interest-free loan, to run my business. Outside that, regarding other expenses, I have some standard expenses that I have to make every month. I need to give my wife a certain amount of money every month. I need to buy gas into the cars. There's some things that I know I spend money on. There's some things I've even cut down on. For instance, our landscaping. I realized, in a year, I'm spending about $800 on landscaping. Why not just buy the machine and do it yourself? How much will I get the machine for? If I buy it brand new, I'm going to spend, with all the different equipment, mower, cutter, and all these things, I'll spend about $1,500 on Amazon. I went to Facebook Marketplace. I found everything for $600. I bought it. I cut my grass myself. So not only have I saved myself $200 this year from the $800, next year I'm saving myself that $800, and I'm doing it myself, and I'm exercising too. So there are things that I do to save myself money, but I don't have a budget. But based on what I've listened to you on now, I'll go and sit down. But also based on what you said about percentages, I'll go and sit down and okay, let me see what I can do about a budget. I've always had the mindset of I can sort it out in my head as long as I'm not spending beyond what's unreasonable. I don't buy things I don't need. Yes, there's what was it called again? Was it mumu money or something that we spent it, foolish money that we spent? Yes, I've had that in the past, but I always watch what I'm, as in I have this alarm in my system where if I'm about to spend above a certain amount of money, before I click okay, I sit back, I'm like, okay, let's think about this. Do you really need to spend this money? I always check before I actually finally say, okay, let's go ahead and do it. I have to justify it. No matter what it is I want to buy, I need to justify above a certain expense. So that's about budgeting. So back to the question I have for you has to do with credit for kids. So when my kids, I have 2 kids, 2 girls, after the second one was born, I asked my wife, hey, why not open credit cards for them now? So that by the time they are 18 and all, they are not going to use it, So they have a good credit score. My wife was like, no, don't do that. So this one, that one, security thing, people can break into their accounts and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yes, I know. Anyone can do that. But based on what I've just heard from you now, you say you just opened for your kids. And can you just explain how that works, please?
Sure. So they are authorized users on my card and my wife's card. They don't have the card. So they have the actual card. The actual card is in their name, right? But how do I say it? They didn't have to apply. I didn't have to apply in their name. I got a credit card, and then I'm allowed an authorized user. I can put anybody. I can put you. I can put I chose to put just it helps, and they have the card. Now, again, I tell parents, hopefully your kid is the type that mind check, right? So many times is an approved expense. Oh, daddy, I'm going on a field trip. Some they even say don't bring cash. Here's a card. Every now and then I'll hold on to the card. Sometimes I travel. I'm like, oh, okay, you have that card, use it. It's an approved expense. They are not going to show up in the mall because they know you'll see it. And then the moment you misuse it once, it's being revoked, right? So so it comes with certain responsibility, but also for us it's a teaching tool, right? Plan for it, use it, So they're pretty good with that when they call to say, oh, is it okay if I do this? Sometimes it's yes, sometimes it's no. Sometimes we're out the house, so daddy, can we order pizza? Absolutely not. There's food in the fridge. Leave the card alone. You know. So sometimes sometimes you have to tell them.
Let's buy something. I said,
No. I'm like, yep, I like already bought groceries. So yeah, but it helps.
To add to that,
Yes.
I'll probably take it a step further.
Yeah.
Do they work? Are they?
I mean, they're in school. They did summer job. I put them on my company. Again, that's a tax benefit, right? You're allowed to deduct. Sure. I think this year the deduction for each child, that one, all three of them, because I think once you're age 7, you're allowed to work. So all three of them are listed under my company as employees, and you're allowed to deduct 12,000 per child. So for whatever I make on my and again, this word is knowledge. I think it's a phenomenal rule. So each year I'm removing 36,000 from my taxable income by saying I hire my kids, and I tell them, you know, they'll tell you the work has to match the age. Don't say your child is the chief engineer, you know. You know, one is social media, one is janitor, you know. I'm like, if you like, you can clean up the title, but you come into my office, you clean, you do this, you know. AJ, he just wants to have a good time, you know. And it can be any, I mean, you take pictures, absolutely. They'll be models. You can I mean, there's like a list of, you know, so I pay the tax person, let me know what I can do. All these young, handsome men, take them as models for the company. Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah.
I'm about to start doing that. I'm hiring my child because I'm 8 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, what I was also just about, if they're earning on
Okay.
take it a step further.
Yeah.
When you allow them to use the card,
Yes.
have them pay it as well.
When they use.
It's part of the whole process.
Yes, they have the card, they pay. So what happened before, I mean, when they use the card, they don't care, they don't see anything. It shows up on your statement.
Yeah.
Whatever they buy shows up on my statement. They don't see anything. So they are literally, all they do is the swiping. But now they're about to get actual accounts, actual bank accounts and then I might even probably just take up the credit card. I think it's done its thing. You have your actual account, put money in, Uncle this give me money, go put it in. See how, and you can tell it starts clicking. Because sometimes I'm like, but you have $50. No, I don't want to spend my money. You know? So it's like a teaching tool to help them with. Yeah. Okay. All right. Great questions, guys. So, I'm so sorry. Go ahead. Yeah. It absolutely affects them much more than they would know. So as they grow older, my oldest now is 16. She just did PSAT. She's done SAT prep, you know. She's done the first SAT, which she did pretty well. So in my mind, I'm thinking this is 2 years away from college. So I have to start getting them for the real life out there. She wants to go to Harvard. I'm going to be here, you're in Boston. What happens? So it impacts them tremendously, right? Because you're teaching them, you are reinforcing good money habits, right? Because don't forget, they won't be in the house forever and ever. So whatever they see you do is kind of what they'll do. Like what Reverend Joe was saying is let me share a funny story. So one of my cousins growing up, and I know they'll never hear this, so it's okay. But he wanted a bicycle for Christmas, right? And his mom said, don't worry, God will provide. This boy said, no, I don't want the one that God will provide. Because the one that God will provide from last year didn't work. And he said, I'm going to go and tell my auntie. And lo and behold, the auntie said, no problem. Well, the auntie was smart. She gave it to her sister to say, buy it for your son. But what I'm saying is they are seeing a lot of these things, right? So they are seeing when money is scarce, when it's there, what it does, right? So you want to teach them, I think, to not just handle money well, but to have a good relationship with it. So they know. I mean, they know it's a credit card, but the very first thing was the Riot Act that I read them to say, look, I'm giving you this card. The day you go to the mall and you buy anything that I didn't say you should buy, forget it, right? So and they've kept to that. So for me, that's a big plus in the good column. And then, sometimes you're like, okay, you're doing this, you're going somewhere, it's okay. And sometimes if I don't have cash, I'm like, because now they go out a lot. I think that's why, we're going to swim. I'm in debate club, and they say, buy your lunch, right? I'll say, okay. You have your card. You're only allowed to spend $20, right? And you're an adult. Sometimes these people can be funny. Like, we have more of a family culture. But I've had some of their friends' parents invite them out, and then when they get there, everybody has to pay for themselves. In my mind, I'm thinking, what kind of bad auntie is this? But these people, they don't play. If they call you, please have your money and give your child their money to hold. You never know. You don't want them to be set up. Yeah. So, thank you. Yeah. Thank you, guys. All right, so we're getting into what I consider the fun part, right? This, I think, is really, 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 really the magic about money, right? If you ever want to know how money grows, this is it, okay? Compound interest. So compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Here's about Einstein. He said this: he who understands it earns it, he who doesn't pays it, right? About Einstein. Compound interest is interest and an interest and an interest and an interest over time, right? And so it causes exponential growth. Is Dr. Ola, I think is his name, is it back there? Would it be possible to put up like a website or something? Yes. At some point? If you can do me a favor, just help me Google compound interest calculator and then pick, I think it's NetWallet. I like theirs, right? Just put it up. It will allow you input some numbers, and then I'll be saying it from here. Just get it ready. This is still good, okay? So what does compound interest mean? Let's say you put $1,000 in the bank, right? And is earning, let's say, 10%, right? 10% sounds pretty good. Most don't do that. Your average bank right now will give you 1%, which is absolutely horrendous, right? Like Benga said, if you're putting money in the bank like that, you might as well put it under your mattress. It's not doing anything, right? So your $1,000 at the end of the year, notice all your interest, you have to divide by 12 months. At the end of the year, at 1%, that's $10. You've not made any money. 10%, let's say you're lucky. Most don't do 10%, but whatever, for calculation's sake, 10% will give you 100, right? Now, if it's simple interest, that 100 stays like that, right? And then the next year, you get another $100 on your 1,000. The next year, you get another 100. You keep getting just 100. What compound interest says is that it immediately adds your interest to the principal, right? So your first year at 1,000, I'm using 10% because it's easier to calculate percentages. So your first year at 1,000, 10% takes it to 1,100, right? The next year, the interest, 10% will now be on 1,100, which is 111, right? I'm sorry, 110. Next year, your 10% again will be on that 1,100 plus 110. So it just keeps adding. So the power of it is limitless, okay? The flip side, let me explain the flip side for you. Credit cards, I mentioned it earlier, 20% APR. Your mortgage is reverse compound interest. Eventually, if you've ever looked at a mortgage amortization thing, it's painful. I don't know about you, but sometimes I think about these things. So you buy a house for, let's say, 500,000, right? You buy a 500,000 house, your 30-year mortgage. If you wait 30 years, by the time you finish, you would have paid, thank you so much, right? And you know why? It is compound interest going in the reverse direction. So let's say they give you 6 or 7%. That 500,000, when you pay the first month, principal and interest, it'll tell you X goes to principal, X goes to interest. At the very first month, very little goes to principal, maybe $100, right? So your first month, your 500,000, after you pay 3,000 mortgage, by the next month, it's only gone up by $100, and it's 499 and 900. When you pay, what would happen is by the end of the month, that 499 and $900, that your interest rate would have gone on it again, so it will go up. So you're like, but I'm paying this thing. It's because it will go down, interest will take it up. It will go down, interest will take it up. It takes 30 years before your payments would have literally wiped that thing off. So it's really, really bad. Thank you. Ned Wallet, did you go? Yep, that one right there. Ned Wallet, yes. Okay, good. So here's what I want us, because what I want everyone to do, obviously, is to start thinking of how we can invest, right? Start thinking of how we can grow our money. I like investments. It's okay. You don't have to do, oh, stock market is complicated. It's not that complicated, I promise you. Reason why I like it is because as opposed to, running around for real estate, you buy, they cheated me, they did this, they did that, they did this. This one is in the comfort of your living room in front of a computer, right? So I'm jumping straight to investment. Ordinarily, I'll start out saying, get a high yield savings account. Now, your high yield savings accounts, most of them now are doing about 4%, which is not the greatest because it barely beats inflation, but it's not bad, right? As a matter of fact, most of my clients that I'm coaching, I tell them first things first, let's put $1,000 in a high yield interest account, right? Your high yield is your emergency money, just $1,000. It's not too big, it's not too small. It's money that, God forbid, something happens, you need money in a bind, you can get it out. A lot of, Capital One has, Amex has, PayPal has it, right? You can literally put $1,000 in PayPal, 4%. Again, it's not stupendous interest, but it's okay, right? It's okay whereby if you need money, you can quickly get it. However, once you have extra money that you can put away for a while, I tell people invest, right? The greatest time to invest was 30 years ago. The second best time is now, right? Think about it. If we bought $1,000, guys. I know the younger people might, but the adults, if need be, we can look around for it. $1,000, if you bought NVIDIA stock 5 years ago, $1,000 now will be almost 50,000, right? Just not doing anything, just investing, right? If you're looking for scripture, the sons of Issachar, 2 Chronicles, says that they could discern the times and they knew what Israel ought to do. The second part says that all their brethren, 200 of them, came and made them leaders, right? There's something about when you have knowledge and you do things at the right time, right? And trust me, all of us, we've made mistakes. I mean, I bought Facebook IPO, sold it. I don't know why, but that's a story for another day, right? That's a long time ago. But again, and then, I was so big on it. I'm like, guys, because we grew up pre-Facebook. So for us, it was a big thing. I know the younger guys, they're like, Facebook, what's that? I know. There's IG, there's TikTok, there are like a million stuff now. But it was a big thing then, right? So here's what I want to use this to show the power of. So let's say you start out with $1,000, right? And you say, you know what? Let's do 10 years, Dr. Ola, 10 years. Maybe we can leave the door open. 10 years. So Reverend Joel, for people with kids, all those millionaire babies, this is what they do for them, right? Actually, let's do 20 years. Let's do 20 years. Let's say you start out with a child. I remember my very, very first child, someone gave me $1,000 for the child, and I was upset because they wrote it in the child's name. So it took me time to fight with the bank, but I used it to open an account for them, right? So let's use that example. $1,000, 20 years, right? Stock market over the last 70 years has returned an average of 12%, right? Let's use 10. 10%, please. Let's use 10, adjusting for inflation, right?
Even 8%, because I'm looking at income.
Yeah, exactly. It's growing good. Okay, can we do 10%? I don't know, because it's 20 years. I know we'll definitely hit 10%. Thank you. And then every month, let's leave it at you're adding $100 a month. Look at what our total is already, right? So that's for a child. They didn't do nothing, right? It's just growing. It's just growing. Okay. Now, obviously, let's try $5,000 as the initial deposit. Look at where we are. Okay? Now, the good part about this, if you can scroll to the right a little bit to the graph, all the way to the top. Just hover around the top a little bit. Yes, somewhere there. Good. So look at what that is telling us. With total balance of 112, the principal, what you have put, is 29,000, right? Remember, you're putting just $100 every month. 20 years is what? 20 times 12, 240, right? So 24,000 plus your original 5,000. So all you have put is 29,000. Look at the interest, right? Free money. So there's absolutely no reason why everyone should not be investing. I tell people, open the account. Pity I don't have money. It's free to open the account. Right? Let's start there. At least if you open the account one day, when you have money, you'll be like, oh, okay, I have this account. Because if you wait to have money to open the account, you might never do. So open the account. It's okay if you don't do anything with it. Leave it there. I had my investment account open for maybe about a year before I'm like, okay. Because me too, there was this, should I invest? What should I do? I don't want to lose money. Blah, 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 blah. Bible says in Proverbs, Ecclesiastes actually, that the one who looks at the wind will never sow. Will never sow. Right? And you'll be keeping your money. The $500 that you had 10 years ago is still nothing. And most of us have regret stories of, man, I wish I did this. Oh, I am Bitcoin, whatever it is. Right? So at some point, you have to say, you know what? I'm going to take a step and I'm going to do something. Dr. Ola, can we, if you can, do me a favor, the contribution amount, let's do 1,000 a month. Look at where we are. Okay? So here's the example.
We can all be millionaires.
That's, and I'm Reverend Joe. I say this not from a place of arrogance. I mean, you know, but Anna and I were 18 years now. When we got married, I said, you know what? You do 500, I'll do 500. I don't care. If we have to soak Gary, if we have to, we would manage whatever we have, but we must every month do 1,000. This started with 5,000. This is what we're doing. I wish we continued. We stopped. Long story, right? But look at this, guys. 20 years is coming very soon. And if we did, it's 800. But for me, the exciting part is always the fact that, look at principal. We've done 245. Interest is 551. And what some people do is they do it for, Dr. La, let's do 10 years. Let's do 10 years.
It's going to be one of our teaching series in the
compound it just works. 10 years, please. Okay, thank you. So you see, look at 10 years again. Yeah. So 10 years, you have 218, this and this. Now, what some people do, because they're like, PT, please, I can't be doing this all my life. They will struggle for 5 years, 10 years, and then stop contributing. Now, 10 years, put the 218, put that as the initial deposit. There you go, 218. I think it was 218,000 and change. You can just do 218. Yeah. And then take out the contributions, 218,000.
218,000. 218,000.
Yes.
She told me she wants to go there. I said, my wife, you like money. You didn't want to go arrest.
No. This is good. Sometimes I just play around with this calculator because you can just be like, So, yes, sir. Yeah. I'll get to that in a very quick minute. So take out the monthly contribution. So let's say you do it for 10 years. You do it for 10 years, you're at 218, and you say, you know what, it's okay. I don't need to be doing anything, but I'm still going to leave it.
So put that one as contribution as 0.
Yes, it's already recalculated. So you're 218 now, but you leave it for another 10 years without touching it. Here's our new, even more than doubles. So your principal is 218, your interest is 372. So people who have, once they get to a certain extent, they do this for a little bit, and you just leave it. There's Warren Buffett that said, if your money has to work for you when you're sleeping. Okay? So for everyone that can do it, and again, everyone is at different levels. If it's $250 a month, if it's $100 a month, set something up, do it, let it be automated, right? You'll take it out of the account.
I think that's the big deal.
That's be automated. You are not worried about what Elon Musk and Trump are fighting. You pick so. Let me, before I answer that question, does everyone understand this concept?
I don't want to chip on this.
Yeah.
You are aware of it, I've told you.
Yeah.
I was just playing with Akon.
Yes.
Akon is another, you can know he asked the question, how can they set it up?
Yes.
Using brokerage account.
Yes.
I just played with Akon.
Yes.
I wish I increased it because it's about how you increase it.
Yeah.
But I did 20, I think it was $20.
Yeah.
2020, I just opened it and
Yeah.
left it there.
Yeah. We put in $20
The last
a week or a month.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
3 weeks. I said, let me go see what I have in my account. It was
Yeah.
$7,000.
Look at that. Look at
Money
that.
I could use to buy chin.
Yeah.
And that was very handy.
It's handy.
And what I now did, I increased it
Yes.
to $30.
Yes.
Then I opened for
The kids.
For the kids.
Because Akon allows you to do that.
Open for the kids.
Yeah.
You go using the gold account.
Yeah.
And so it's
Yeah.
every week and every Friday just deduct. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And the goal is, I'm just telling myself, baby, I think we need to do our own
Yeah.
our retirement.
Yes.
Because what we actually do, every time she gets a paycheck,
Yeah.
twice in a month, we have an account, she pays money to.
Yeah.
I do same too.
Yeah.
I said for us, I think we should just move, instead of leaving it in the
No.
savings account,
No.
let's get.
Don't do savings. Or don't do too much in savings. Once you have, for some people, maybe like you guys, I'll say, okay, keep 2 to 3 months of expenses. It's money that you can get your hands on. But outside of that, invest it where it's growing
What's your take on
rapidly.
this? I know it's not a regular savings.
Yeah.
It's, what is it called?
The high yield? Yeah. Yes.
I
Yes.
get what you're
Yeah.
saying. It's not really working as the
No, that's not. That's not. I have it, but I have 1,000 in there, and I don't plan to put any more because it's 4%. Yeah, it's 4%. It's not really going to grow. But if, again, God forbid, the way it is now, you can access money quicker. 10, 15 years ago, it was harder. You fill a form, but because it's not like fixed deposit. It's literally your money. You can break it. If you break it on Monday, and you transfer it by Tuesday or Wednesday, you have it. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's the power of compound and compound interest. I tell people, invest. So, millionaire babies, all those ones that, by Dr. La, can we do 30 years, but let him start with 10,000. 30 years, but start with 10,000. Yeah, thank you. Okay. So some people, they're just like, you know what? It's okay. They do this one time. Right? And you give when the person is an adult. But if you're adding to it, let's do with a monthly contribution of 200. Okay. 100. Okay. We'll see 200. We'll see 100. Yeah. So you see. Look at the numbers, though.
Imagine us even at age 50, at age 70, say you don't want to do anything.
Exactly.
And you have 60.
But look at the fact that you only put 82. Look at what you got, 560 something. So again, it's very
doable.
doable.
In the Church of God.
Yeah.
Honestly.
All right,
Yeah.
so how do we
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah.
We should not be poor in the church.
No, we shouldn't. We shouldn't. But I don't, and that's why I said thank you. A lot of churches don't teach this, And I heard one pastor say you can't tell people to tithe if you don't teach them about money, It's like So one time I preached a message in church. I called it the other 90%, because church we talk about that 10% a lot. Pay your tithe, 10%. But the other 90, they have no clue what to do with it. And then it becomes a problem. So let me answer Synergy's question. Dr. Life, can you help me pull up? Let's do Zacks.com. I just want to show something on there. But your question is, you open what is called a brokerage account, right? There are a bunch of companies that do it. Reverend Joel just mentioned Acons. Acons is really good because not only do they allow you to do your kids, they have one that they allow you invest your change, right? So if you buy water for $1.10, it will save 90 cents for you. If the water was $1.85, it will only save 15 cents. So it's kind of rounding up, which you don't, if you're spending $1.85 versus $2, you won't notice this. And what I like that it doesn't take it out every time. It's just tracking, it's calculating it. Then at the end of the month, it would remove $10 or $20, whatever it is that you've designated, and then it will add that to your monthly. Sometimes you pick it, sometimes you don't have to pick it. It's an option, right? But so Acons is good. Obviously, there are the big ones. There's E-Trade. I like E-Trade. There's Merrill Lynch. Merrill Lynch is under Bank of America. So if you have a Bank of America account, you can literally just open Merrill Lynch, and you can even link it. So use Merrill Lynch, yes. Bank of America bought Merrill Lynch. Yeah.
They're lynching your money, Joe.
No. They are good. They are good. What I don't like about them is I feel like their platform is a little old, but they are good. Now all of them do free trades. So Robinhood is one of the younger people.
For you to make a lot of Robinhood, you need to consistently put money in Robinhood.
All of them is the same. It's the same format. Yeah, it's the same format. So what you do is, you open a brokerage account. Like I said, it's free to open. And then you just determine what you want to do, what you want to put into it, the frequency. Yeah, right? So, yeah, Acons is good. My concern with Acons is they have limited range of mutual funds that you can invest in. And that's going to be the next one. So if we have Zacks.com, they have about 5 or 6, but those are only the bigger one. Zacks.
I think one thing they also have I like, but I've not explored it, is this their option for IRA.
Yeah, all of them, E-Trade, Merrill, all of them. They have your IRA, they have your Roth, which is really, really good. And for time's sake, I didn't want to, because again, like I said, this is 1/10 of so I don't want to do the full, wealth building one, like if we're doing coaching, and because all of that will come out.
We can plan for that, even if because I really like our
I'm game.
So we need to say, man of God, what's the Lord saying?
I'm game. I'm game. I'm game. We'll do a whole series. So here's where I was going. So let's do. Inside the box, top right, quote or search. Let's do QQQ. Let's start with that. And then click on it. Okay? So very, very quickly, I'll try and make it as quickly as possible. Obviously, stock is, you're buying a part of a company, right? I tell people, invest in what you know, invest in what you use. So my portfolio is all the things I like. Starbucks, United, because I fly them a lot now, Allstate Insurance, different things, right? But what I tell, starting out, you don't even have to get individual stocks because it can get overwhelming. There's over, I think, like 2,000 or 3,000 stocks, right? So that's way, way, way too much. If you want to do SPY has all, or I should say, the biggest 500 stocks in the market, right? That's also a lot. QQQ is heavy on tech stocks, technology. So that's why, like an Acons, for instance, you won't be able to get this in their mutual funds. You have to buy it individually, right? But you say you have Robinhood, so you can definitely, okay? So basically, a mutual fund, which is what I encourage people to get, is like a bucket of funds, right? So say that again. Yes, ProQ, instead of getting one, you're getting a whole bunch of funds. Why that is good is, you're not getting something that is dependent on just one person. If you buy Tesla stock, for instance, and Elon Musk wakes up on the wrong side of the bed, by night time, your money could have gone. If you buy Apple and Everybody doesn't like the new Apple. I'm Android, by the way. But everyone doesn't like the phone. It drops. So you typically don't want to stay with just one. A mutual fund gives you variety, right? Now, I tend to buy mutual funds that have maybe about 100 stocks. Some people buy SPY or like the total, like VOO, like Acorns, for instance. That one might have like 300 stocks in it. I think those ones move a little slower because, again, you are carrying 300 stocks. Some are going down, some are going up. So I try to get things that have, a decent amount. So can you please click on holdings to the left? Yeah, scroll down. There you go. Okay. All right. Go down a bit. Where it says showing 1 of 10, can we make that 100? Bottom left, that's showing right now is at 10. Help me make it 100. Yes. Okay, it's on this side too. Let me use this one. Okay, great. Now you can scroll back up. So QQQ has 101 stocks in it, right? And you might be like, man, $5.95 is a lot for just one stock, which is also why I like index funds. But you don't have to have $600 to buy it. If you buy $50, it would do it as a fraction, right? You're buying fractional shares. So that way there's no, Tesla stock is $300. It might be like, that's a lot. But here, what this one is telling us is that it has 101 stocks in it. And it tells you the weight, right? So NVIDIA, obviously, that's the best company now. Everyone is going with that. They just surpassed $1 trillion, right? So NVIDIA is 9.39%. Microsoft, you're not going to go wrong with that, 8.35%. Apple, 7.89%. So if you add up all the way, it's going to go to 100, right? Because what they're just saying is we have 101 stocks in here, and each one has this weighting. Do you guys understand that? Should I stop there? Which one?
That's the
Broadcom, yes. Yes.
Wow.
Is that the biggest?
Why did you say it? No. 87,000 is the number of shares. We're looking at the weighting, the percentage. Weight. This one, yes. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. So if you add up all the weights, it will get you to 100%. But as opposed to buying or splitting it amongst the 100 companies that it has, obviously they could have bought 1%, but they didn't do that, right? So usually with mutual funds, the top 10, top 20 would have most of it, right? There will be some at the bottom that you can have 0.05. It means they just bought a little bit of it, right? Most times they do that, they'll buy like bonds or something that's a little safer, right? Exact. Thank you so much, Dr. Ola. So you can see at the bottom, 0.32, point this, point this. You don't really care much about these ones, right? Because they only bought little of it. Point. So keep going up, right? So you can still see 0.1, 2%, right? So by your top 10, let me do quick math. 9, 17, 25, 30, 31, 37, 40, 44. So your top 10, you've already covered 50%, right? So that means if you buy $100 of QQQ, right? What this is saying is that $9.39 will go to NVIDIA, $8.35 will go to Microsoft. Seven is doing a spread for you, okay? So that way you're not worried about which stock should I buy today? Which one is doing well? Should I buy Apple? Should I buy this? Should I buy this? And honestly, when you think about it, these people, that's how they do it. We're the ones that were fighting fights that doesn't matter, right? I see people, me, I'm team Apple, I'm team this. They don't care. They genuinely do not care. Microsoft owns, I don't know if owns is the right word. Microsoft owns 10% of Apple. When Apple was struggling, Microsoft bought 10%. So you think Bill Gates is worried that you are using one computer over the other?
Discovered even in business.
They don't care.
Most businesses now is owned by one business.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like
You don't care.
Google, they're the owner of tablets.
Yeah.
They're the owner of so many other companies. T-Mobile, It's one major company that has all of them. They are the owner of the business.
Yeah.
That's what I discovered in this company.
So you see that top 10 there, that's the big part. Your
Don't mess.
your Meta platforms. Meta platform, they own Facebook. Facebook owns Instagram. They own WhatsApp that we use every day. They own like so many other companies, right? You have your Tesla and Palantir. Yes,
These guys.
yeah. They're taking over. Because
That's the Trump. I'm sure our president has.
they are taking. I'm sure. 2.85. Yeah, they are relatively anything in the top 10, top 15. They really like Palantir. I mean, it just makes sense. They do AI and they do war. So
They're the one handling defense now. They are playing defense boys.
yeah. So that's your T-Mobile, Cisco.
Lord
So
Jesus.
and I
How
feel
do
like
take our members to get to this place. Build their businesses, build their what's the name of the Salem opportunities, be on stock exchange.
and when you do this, you kind of see how the world works. It's going up. So okay, so Dr. Let's scroll back up. Then let's scroll back up so a little more.
You guys got to build a great business.
Okay, click on profile. Okay, scroll down a bit. Okay, stay there for a little bit, right? So your expense ratio, 0.2%. That's what they are charging, right? Remember Warren Buffett when he's saying just use an index fund, because after a while people are doing, they'll be paying managers to manage their money for them. But after a while, it's like, why am I paying you X amounts to manage money? It's like, I've already paid 10% off of the money you make. He's like, look, forget all that. Index funds, 0.2% is $20 on $10,000. You won't miss that, right? But it does the exact same thing for you, even does more. Let's go back up a little bit. Hold on 1 second. I'm looking for performance. Why am I not seeing it? Scroll down a bit.
I'm wealthy.
Scroll down some more.
Then are you following it? This is how people make money.
That's how they make money.
This is how people make money.
Oh, keep going up. And I know where I should be checking now, because this one is listed like a stock. Okay, so stay here. The interactive chart, if you can go back a little bit. Where it says okay, you know what? It's okay. Let's use another one. Go to quote or search where you are. Let's do, I don't know. Let's do let's do PRGFX. PRGFX is a T row price here. T row price growth. Okay. Yep. Okay. All right. So same thing here. Let's do holdings. Let's see what this one has. So sometimes people will pick different things. Obviously, some have overlap. You get to pick whichever one that you want. You can go back. I think you might have clicked the back button over there. Yep. Okay. So this PRGFX, scroll down. So here we see this one. If you notice, as opposed to the other one, this one has 75. Just 75 entries, right? Let's can do 100, so all of it will show. And then this one, Microsoft is their number one, right? Microsoft, Nvidia, Apple, all of that. So you guys already understand how the stocks are distributed. Okay, go up a little bit, and then you can now tell, scroll up. No, up, yes. And then click on performance, top left. Okay? So look at what we were saying earlier. Guys, if you're looking, so year to date is done 10% this year. In the last 3 months, 10%. Last 6 months, 10%. In 1 year, 18%. All right? So Pastor Simon, see what we're saying, which is why, it's like, why would you do 4% with a high yield if you can easily do 18%, right? In the last 3 years, it's done 22%. You guys remember our compound interest calculator, right? We used 10%. We never went over 10. So can you imagine if you are doing 18% every year, right? Last 3 years, 22. Last 5 years, 10%. Who knows what happened last 5 years ago?
Pandemic.
Thank you, right? So there was a huge crash. But again, the market will rebound, right? So a 60-year average doing 10%, that's, some years, okay, we did 5% this year, we did 8%, but ultimately you should do more. In the last 10 years, right, our compound interest calculator, last 10 years, 14%. And all our calculations were with 10, right? So I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince you to invest. That's really, really my message. Once you get to a place where you're able to put some money aside, start investing for your future. Some people say, you know what, I'm going to do this aggressively for 5 years, and then I'm not going to add anything again. Just let it ride. You can live off the dividends, right? Every year you remove, X amount, leave the rest to grow again. By the end of the year, you'll be ready to go to get something out. Quick notes. As far as taxes, capital gains, if you leave it past the year, it's 15%. If you sell it before a year, it's 30%. So they themselves, they don't want you to be doing buying and selling. So those people who they're like day traders, fine. Sometimes you might feel like you're making money, but don't forget you're paying 30% of everything that you make. That's if you're even being successful at it. So it's like try and keep it past 1 year to get that. So, okay, Dr. Olagood, I see you still have our compound interest tab open. So let's quickly go back to that, and let's say you bought this. Let's use our percentage now. Let's do 15%, right? Because the percentage rate is really the most important thing. And with percentage, there's something called rule of 72. And rule of 72 basically tells you how quickly you can double your money based on the percentage rate. So basically what it is you divide the percentage rate by 72. So at 15%, I can already tell you, you will double your money in 6 years or less, right? Because in 5 years. 5 years is 72 divided by 15 is not even up to 5, right? So 10,000, let's quickly do 5 years first. 5 years. No, 15%, but 5 years. Years of growth, 5. Okay? No addition. Yes.
The contribution.
The contribution amount makes 0, yeah. So let's just say you do 10,000, you don't want to add anything else. So you see, in 5 years, 21, you've doubled your money, right? So that's our rule of 72 at work. It lets you know how, right? Now, again, with 15%, let's say you're adding, let's do 10 years and contribution amount of 1,000. 10 years. Every couple, when they're getting married, this is what they should tell them. Honestly, just try. You give yourself a 10-year wedding gift that even you didn't know. Contribution amount 1,000. Look at that, guys. I mean, which couple would you? I wish someone told me this. And at 10 years, they're giving you 300K. But principal is 130. Interest is so much more. Okay? All right. Any questions? Thank you.
Daniel, you're learning Isaiah. You're getting some stuff here. I know Elvis is ready to roar.
How old are you, Elvis? 14. Yeah, you're right there. You're right there.
Hey, Jeremiah, you good?
Right there.
I won't ask all this Barack Benga and Bravolo. You guys are over good. You guys are thinking, man.
Already in my head, I'm calculating. That money that's going to this nation.
Yeah, that's what I say. Look, this.
We have to do.
Move it. So Simone, she's quick. So as I tell you, I'm like, open the brokerage account. You can do Robinhood. I like E-Trade. I think as far as simplicity. Yeah, so E-Trade, Robinhood, Merrill Lynch. I mean, all the banks have. Wells Fargo has, but I don't. Wells Fargo's one is like a dinosaur. I don't like it. It's like it's old and clunky, you know. So E-Trade and Robinhood will be my top two. Acorns is really good, and then you can now pick what. And there's so many of these things to pick. Charles Schwab, Fidelity. Yeah, Fidelity too is really good. You can't go wrong with them. Yeah, Fidelity is really, really good. And they have, I believe there are about 12 industry sectors. So if you are big on a particular industry, they have something for you. You know, some people like transportation, and everything in there will be like a transportation stock. But those ones I tend not to do too much of because they grow the same, right? Meaning if for instance, you know, Mr. DJ was doing solar, but there are a couple of solar companies, Solar Run, First Solar, you know, they are all on there. So when there's something, Trump says something, all of them will go down. So I try not to do industry-specific mutual funds. I try to get a mix, something that, you know, takes a little bit. Some people, they get mutual funds where they tell you 20% will be put in bonds. So if you're a little conservative, that one works for you, right? Because your bonds you're not losing money, but it just won't grow as fast. So some people like that, you know. I'm like, look, if it's money you can look away for 5 years at a minimum, then go aggressive. Just, you know, put it, forget about it, and see what happens. So.
Wow, amazing. Now let's give it up for Pastor T. There's so much Pastor T can. Do you have a question?
Please.
Please.
Thank you so much for helping with the slides.
Thank you. Actually, I have two questions.
Okay.
First one would be, what kind of training do we need to start trading? As in, what kind of training do we need really? Do we need to come for a class, or do we just go and study it? So that is the first question. Then the second question is for small business owners who are trying to expand their business. And of course, if you go to the bank, they will ask you what's your profits for the previous year, which you don't even have. So what is your advice to either get a loan, as in what kind of loan can we source for that we can get that it won't require we having any collateral or so? Yeah.
Okay. So the first one, what kind of training do you need? I don't want to downplay it too much, but I would say it's so much more simpler than it used to be, right? So simple might not necessarily mean easy. What kind of training do you need? Not too much, honestly. Right now, Cash App, how many of us have Cash App? You can invest from Cash App, right? So literally on your Cash App, if you say, you know what, all I can afford is $50 a month, you set it up, it's buying $50 a month, right? You don't need super training for that. And you say, you know what, at the end of the year, instead of $600, I want my $50 a month to have grown by 10%, 20%, whatever it is. Now, of course, it's percentages, right? So you get a percentage back of whatever you put in. If you can do more, even better, right? So if it's 500, 1,000, whatever it is. So you can do on Cash App. Cash App I probably won't, because I feel like, yes, it's quick, but again, the options are limited, right? So I always say, open a real brokerage account. It takes 3 minutes, right? You're doing it online. If you go now, Bank of America, Capital One, E-Trade, Charles Schwab, Fidelity, Acorns, there's a gazillion one of them. Whichever one you're comfortable with. PayPal, you can invest from PayPal too, but again, options are limited. So after a while, you want to open a real brokerage account. And then you set it up, you know. Obviously, I just showed you guys what the numbers look like and what a mutual fund is. That might be the part that if you are doing it for the first time, it just needs a little setting up, i.e., what do you want the original amount to be? What do you want the monthly amount to be? But now they are very, very sophisticated. Like the way I had mine to do 1,000 a month, but life happens. You can literally go there and say, pause. Like, please, you all don't know what's going on. Leave me alone. This month, don't touch my money. Right? So you can go there and say pause, and then when you want to, you restart it, right? And it will buy the mutual fund like a QQQ or anything you say. For the more aggressive people who have high conviction, they buy individual stocks. And there's nothing wrong with that. That requires a little more planning, right? Like now, when there was a market, well, I don't want to call it a crash, but a correction in April, right? A lot of things were dead cheap, right? Tesla then was, I think, about 240, right? And now is like 350, right? All in 4 or 5 months, right? Because I knew, I'm like, you know what? These people's fights, one day will finish, right? They will, I mean, is besides the fact that it's a great product, they are considered a moat, meaning they are number one in the EV space. They own about 60% of the market. So whatever and that's what I've removed my emotions from a lot of these things now. I might not like you, but it's okay. In fact, I even feel like it's good if I can make money off of someone I don't like, right? So those ones require a little more planning, but I just say the safer, passive route is a mutual fund, right? Because again, you buy something and you're buying 100 stocks at once, right? You're buying NVIDIA, you're buying Palantir, everything, and you just let it ride. Or you're like, you know what? I just received an inheritance. I'm putting in this 20K and I don't want to do the monthly. I'll come back many years later and see what is there. So there's so many different flavors to it. Yes.
In terms of training,
Yeah.
whenever any of the brokerage you choose to do your investment, they have opportunities for training also. So maybe if we don't organize a training like this, for you to come and understand to go by. All of them have short videos. So like I know for Acon, there's video on training.
Yeah.
Investment, what to do, how to go about it. So whichever account you open, whether it's E-Trade, Acon,
Yeah.
they all have financial education. But I discover sometimes we don't take advantage of that training.
Yeah.
So you on that platform, you can do the training.
Yeah.
But if not, you want to go deeper, do Google, Dr. Google.
Yeah.
Training on so it's going to give you more information there. You don't need to go to do a security what's it called? Security
Class.
licensing.
Yeah.
Because I was going to do when I was doing the show.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of those
Yeah.
licenses.
Yeah.
But those platforms will teach you, train you, and it's just as a beginner investor,
Yeah.
or just as an investor, like what Pastor T said. But I think for us, if you don't want to do it very, very big time,
Yeah.
just enough information, they are sufficient.
Yeah.
All you just need to do from the beginning of the process, consistent.
Yeah.
Is being consistent with whatever you are putting in there.
Yeah.
Monitoring it and diversifying.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
The second one is about the loan for business.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. That's a really great question. So with the first one, like Reverend Jay said, there's ChatGPT, there's YouTube, and sometimes nothing wrong with telling someone, hey, show me this thing. It's because it's like online banking, But once you do it once, after that is good. As far as the business, and we didn't get a chance to talk about that, but the second part to this class is taxes, and I think there are like a million things. I feel like in America, that's where the rich really, really make money. Remember I said it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. Yes. So some people, someone can make 100, someone can make 70. But the person making 70, not only is he keeping all of the 70, he's getting money from the government. Meanwhile, you that you're making 100, you're paying. I mean, trust me, I mean, again, there were some years where I didn't know better, and now I've learned to ask questions, paying ridiculous amounts in taxes. Like the thing I was saying with my kids. I'm like, why didn't you tell me that since? This person has been 8 years old. I didn't start that until 2-3 years ago when my oldest was already like 12 or 11. So it's just knowledge. As far as that, Brother Benga mentioned another one, i.e. a business credit card. I will say that one be a little more disciplined with it, right? Because obviously they lure you in with high rates. And sometimes, yes, as a business, you have a 10K, 20K limit. You go buy something for the business and you're making the payments. But, for me, I don't want where you're paying forever and ever. And at the end of the day, you've paid way more, right? So I always tell people, for business expense, let it be something that's, like he said, in 3 to 6 months, I'll get this money, I can pay it back, right? So that is a soft loan is, a short loan. However, with the business, there's a lot of leeway, right? So for instance, if you buy a car, remember when everybody was buying a G-Wagon just because? It's because businesses give tax deductions if the car is, past a certain weight. It's considered a work vehicle. Sure, right? But again, you need someone to tell you, look, this G-Wagon is not just so I can go for party, right? I'm using it for work. And the IRS allows it. If you have a home office, you definitely have to claim that as a deduction, right? If you have there's so many things that are considered deductibles that just because we don't know, we don't make use of. So people, America, anyone, I tell them you have to get a business, right? You can, because the IRS will gladly pay for your travel, pay for a lot of things, right? You just have to know how to use it to your advantage. Right?
Thank you very much. Let's give it up for Pastor T.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Victor, a lot of you guys have extra work.
No, I don't understand.
Yeah, actually, we could actually throw into the women and everybody because it was even more than even we could even. In fact, on my own side, I'm a spender. My partner is a saver. So I wish we actually brought more to the house, really. Yeah. Pastor P, on behalf of the Men Fellowship, we just want to say a big thank you for the short notice, even though you've helped us with the pictures of. We don't say thank you, Lord, for your time, and this is just in fact, it's just too enriching. In fact, it's just too loaded, really. And we don't say thank you for coming. And also, Brother Benga, thanks so much, really, for the short notice. Thanks for coming, too. And everybody, Pastor P, and Pastor PJ, and Pastor Mrs. Simo, thanks so much for coming over. We appreciate so much. Thank you, Daniel. Thanks so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
No, yeah, we appreciate so much. Thank you.